If you're wondering what this video is about, this is the first anniversary of AT's Barstool. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's just a bunch of videos that were previously recorded. Thank you. Please and thank you, and enjoy the video.
Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool. Today we are back here on episode 29 of AT's Barstool. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow my Instagram at AT's Barstool. Link will be in the bio. And we are finally back. We haven't made a video in a month, and I'm really sorry for that. But today we're going to be talking about the week official recap of Delaware High School basketball. We're already a couple games in, and we are going to start off today with Cardinal O'Hara versus Mount Pleasant on Monday, December 15th. And this game, this was a blowout. This was a blowout loss. Cardinal O'Hara won by 30. Mount Pleasant only put up 34 in this game. It was not a good game. They turned the ball over a lot. The leading scorer for Mount Pleasant was Zion Smith, who had 17 points. The junior shot 5 for 8 from the free throw line and had 6 2-pointers that was made, as Mount Pleasant's best player, Stephen Washington, who's been really good all season, was held to 9 points, only shooting 1 for 4 from the free throw line, and only had 4-pointers made and no threes at all. But there's not really much to say, as Mount Pleasant on the year, now they are 0-6 on the year. They did lose later on in the week, which we'll talk about later on. And other than that, there's not much to say. But on to the next game. The next game we're going to be talking about, we're going to go to Tuesday's game slate, where Conrad took on Concord High School, and Concord with the upset win, beating Conrad 84-71. Apparently, two of Conrad's bigs were not playing in this game. And in this game, Vincent Starr, he had a really good game, dropping 22 points. And Jordan Kennedy, his right-hand man, had 14, while Clinton Clowney had 12 on the day. And for Concord, it was just a really good game for the whole team. Victor Davis dropping 19 points, 21 points and 10 rebounds for Michael Wright, and other guys like Sean Norwell with 13 and Michael Brabson with 14. This was just a really good game offensively for Concord. Like I said, they put up 84 points, and they look like they have a good chance of possibly making the playoffs. And it's pretty crazy to say due to how bad they was doing last year. And this year they're now 5-1 on the year, and beating Conrad, knowing that they're going to be above 500, that is a huge win and can possibly get them into the playoffs if they don't lose any fluky games. As the next couple of games coming up for them is they go against Tatnall, Newark, and Hodson. Pretty easy games, well, except for Tatnall, by far the toughest one. They did play Wilmington Charter later on Thursday and beat them 70-56. It was a good game where CJ had 20. But other than that, this really it for the Conrad and Concord game, as all I gotta say is Conrad they didn't have their whole team. And if they had their whole team, they probably would have won that game. But for Concord, though, congratulations. That was a big, big win, especially coming off a loss against Archmere. So now Concord is 5-1, and Conrad on the year is currently 3-1, as they both still have really good chances of being in the playoffs. Now, the next game we are going to be talking about here is Tatnall versus Springside Chestnut Hill down in PA. Another PA school that we're going to talk about. In Springside won 64-56. This was a really good game for Mason Collins, the 5-star recruit, who's originally from South Carolina but just transferred down to Delaware. He had 17 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, had 5 steals, and 3 blocks. What a game. And the rest of his team, they didn't do that well, as Adide was the second leading scorer, having 10 points and 6 boards and 5 assists. But other than that, the rest of the team ain't provide much, and they lost this game 64-56. In my honest opinion, I think Tatnall is going to be one of the few teams that's going to be a favorite to go to states and possibly win it. They do have one of the best players in the state of Delaware that we've ever seen, apparently. And yeah, all in all, I think this game, it was a tough loss, really good PA school. And yeah, nothing much to say. On to the next. And the next game we are going to be talking about here is the William Penn versus St. Elizabeth game. I thought this game was going to be a pretty good game, but William Penn won 53-39. Really low scoring game. Aaron Whittaker was the leading scorer, having 14 points in this game. And then Birdie, aka Cadell, he had 10 points in this game. And everybody else, they put their little 3 cents in, played all right for the most part. And for St. E's, um, they didn't do that well. Nobody really stood out in scoring besides Carmeli, but I mean Cam, but yeah, he had 14 in that game. Nobody else did much, and it was just an overall not a good game for St. E's. This St. E's team is not the same St. E's team as last year or the year prior. This is probably one of the worst St. E's teams that we've seen in recent memory. Barely beating teams like Mount Pleasant and all that, and now losing to William Penn by almost 20. That is not a recipe for winning basketball. And William Penn is now on a 2-game winning streak. As the next game we're going to be talking about here is Dover versus Cape Henlopen. This game right here, it was a really good game, highly anticipated. Well, it was at first, and then Dover ran away with it with a 65-49 victory. Yeah, as the game was pretty close up until that fourth quarter when Dover really started running away with the victory. And overall, yeah, it was just a good game. Terrence Williams had 20 points in this game, while Chase Little had 13 and Javon Dennis had 12 for Dover. And for Cape Henlopen, Jamison Tungle had 19. Stephon Selvis, who's looking like one of the best point guards in the state, he had 10 points in this game, didn't do all that well. And Gordon Downing, he had 11 points in that game. It was a pretty solid game for Dover. Cape Henlopen, they only had 5 guys score, and the fact that you only had 5 guys score and no one else on the bench really providing, that's not a formula of winning basketball. They almost lost this game by 20, realistically speaking, but they did hold their own until the last couple, or the last 2 quarters in the game. And all in all, Dover's now what 3-1, 4-1 on the year. Only loss being the Bargent Catholic, who has a 4-star Michigan State commit. And their next couple games, they do play down in Maryland at the Wakamo's Civic Center, December 26th and 27th. And then January, they're going to start 2026 off playing against Polytech High School once they get back. But overall, Dover, they're definitely another team I think is going to be championship favorites. As if you guys want to know who I think is going to be or have a little run to the state championship this year, my top 4 odds or my top 4 predictions, I think it's going to be St. George's with Joshua Ribera and that St. George's squad. They look really well. They competed with Howard. Saw them compete with Howard a couple of days ago. They're a really good squad. Howard, another team in Blue Hen Conference. I think they are going to have a really good season. And they already look good so far. Played good, all that stuff. Dover, once again, I already said it. They're really good. They're good top to bottom. And then Tatno too, which they have the 5-star, and they also have a pretty good team around them. And then my fifth, probably what's it called? My honorable mention. That's a favorite to go to states is Seaford High School. They look really good as a team, and yeah, it's they always top 3 every year. They look really well this year, and yeah, not really much to say. But speaking of St. George's, we're going to talk about St. George's versus Howard now, as St. George's lost this game 72-77. But what a game! When I tell you, man, what a game! This is probably going to be a pretty solid Gatorade Player of the Year uh, run, between 2 candidates. I think my 2 favorites for Gatorade Player of the Year, Joshua Ribera, who won it last year, and Mason Collins, the only 2 guys in Delaware who has a lot of D1 offers or multiple D1 offers right now. Those are my 2 candidates. But he had a really good game against Howard. He had 32 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 3 steals. Joshua Ribera is showing why he won Gatorade Player of the Year last year and showing why he's one of the best in the state. Jaden Reed had 13 points for St. George's, while Devon Jackson had 10. And then Bryson Nicholas had 16 for Howard, and Ronald Handy had 20, and Bryson Lane had 18. The big 3 looked really well. And overall, this Howard team, they're just really good top to bottom. They competed really well, even though St. George's did outscore them 31-26 in that fourth quarter. They still held their own and they won this game by 5, winning the Hammer and Nail Classic tournament once again. They did go on later on in the week and took down Sanford with a score of 66-54, which we might talk about later on. And their next game is actually today at 6:40. They play Newman Goretti. It's probably going on while this video is playing right now on YouTube. But yeah, if you guys want to watch that game, it's at Archbishop Wood. It's the Dame Moscow Foundation shootout where there's going to be multiple teams from Delaware, PA, and so on. And some of the best play down there. It's always really good down there every year. I'd suggest going to one of those games. Now, on to the next game. We're going to be talking about Odessa High School versus West Philly. This was a Wednesday game where West Philly won 64-56. In this game, William Warfield had 14 points in this game. Aiden Scott had 11, and Zion Reddick had 10 in this game. This was a good game, really close one. Odessa struggled in the first quarter. I think actually both teams struggled as both teams didn't do that well. The score was 13-22 at halftime. Yeah, 13-22 at halftime. Really low scoring first half. They did pick it up a lot in the second half, where West Philly outscored Odessa 21-24 in the third, and then fourth quarter Odessa outscored West Philly 22-18, but it resulted in a 56-64 loss for Odessa. In this game, honestly, free throws was the main thing in turnovers for Odessa. And just a really slow start offensively too in that first half, which really set the tone for the rest of it. They did pick it up, but it was too little, too late, and West Philly won. And now Odessa, they are actually going to be down to 4-2, still a really good record. Not 4-2, 5-2. My bad. Next couple games they're playing down at Cape Henlopen at the Beach Slam tournament on Friday and Saturday. They play Boardneck High School in Maryland. Yeah, that's the Maryland school they're playing against. And then when they come back in January, they're going to be playing against Smyrna. At Smyrna High School, that's going to be a real tough game. I think Smyrna's going to win. Odessa, it's a pretty much a brand new team. They don't got Jalen Bencaro no more, and all them other guys. They had Ty Wilborn. They don't have them guys no more. This is a whole new squad, and I think we're going to also see George Nelson too, who was holding out because he just transferred to Odessa from coming from Sally's, by the way. So we can see him, and he might make an impact. But other than that, though, their next couple of games throughout the rest of 2025 and 26 is going to be pretty tough. Outside from Christiana, I think that's a pretty easy game for them. And Salesianum, yeah, Salesianum. So yeah, but that's really it for Wednesday. And on to Thursday's games. Now, the next game we're going to be talking about here is the John Dickinson School, which started on Thursday versus St. Mark's at 4. St. Mark's won this game in a blowout. It was 66-30. Dickinson didn't even score 10 points in a quarter. They didn't even score 10 points in one quarter. The most they had in one quarter was 9 points. It was really, really underwhelming. They did outscore St. Mark's 9-4, but it was bad and it was running clock. Absolutely horrendous game from Dickinson. Probably one of the worst I've seen this season, as Dickinson's now 1-5 on the year. In this game, Jaden Armour was the only just good part about Dickinson, like in this game for the team. He had 13 points, 6 of them being 2-pointers. Went 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and he had a pretty good dunk too on the fast break, but that was really it. Yeah, then me myself, I did start my first game. This is my third game playing and first game starting, especially because the first 3 games of the season I was out due to an ankle injury from football, which I really messed up pretty badly, and I think I talked about it in my last video when we was talking about the week 10 recap for football. But yeah, I didn't play that well either. I only had 1 point, probably about 2-3 turnovers in that game. It was not a good game for me either. Everybody actually didn't play well, outside from Jaden, who was the decent one. But yeah, outside from Dickinson. And from St. Mark's, Joshua Huffman had a decent game. He had 10 points. knocking down 1 3, and everything else being 2 pointers and stuff. Dylan Bromwell had 13 in this game. Everybody else was just scoring at will. Nobody really stood out completely. But yeah, Bromwell and Jaden Armour both had the most points in the whole entire game. Nobody had over 15 points. But St. Mark's, they won their first game. They're now 1-2 on the year. They did lose early on to West Philly by 10 and Conrad by like 8, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, though, that's really it for Dixon Odessa. I don't even want to talk about the rest of that game. The next game we're going to be talking about here is Mount Pleasant versus Conrad. We did already talk about both of these teams earlier on, about both of their losses. Conrad won this game 50-45, really close game. Vincent Starr had 19 in this game. Jordan Kennedy had 11. Nobody else didn't really do much. They put their couple points in. And for Mount Pleasant, Zion Smith had another 17-point game, looking really good the last couple games. And Stephen Washington had 15, had a bounce back game from the previous game earlier against Cardinal O'Hara. Honestly, it was a really good game for Conrad. Well, not a really good game, as they did have a couple turnovers and a lot of missed shots. And for Mount Pleasant, they played some pretty good defense, which forced a lot of missed shots. But now Mount Pleasant is 0-6. 0-6, y'all. I mean, it's crazy, but they have been competing in most of these games. It's not like they're getting completely blown out. Like Cardinal O'Hara, that's a really good team. They got blown out. It is what it is. But they competed with teams like Conrad, St. E's pretty well. And all in all, they're eventually going to get some wins. I don't think they're going to go below 500 this year, in my honest opinion. Maybe actually they might. I don't know. It depends. But the conference they're in, it's not all that tough. And losing to Conrad, it's not a bad loss. You lost by 5 points in a game where you held one of their better players, Marcel Ramirez, to 0 points in that game, by the way. And yeah, it was just a pretty solid game. Defensively, they played well, got some boards. They just couldn't capitalize scoring wise, and they was held under 50 points. So yeah, Mount Pleasant's 0-6. Conrad is 3-1 on the year. They do play in the JP Flynn tournament on Friday and Saturday, the 26th and 27th, and then they come back from break and play against Wilmington Charter on the 8th at Wilmington Charter, and that should be an easy win. Other than that, though, that's really it for Conrad and Mount, as we are going to go to our next game, which was St. George's in Sanford. I mean, not Sanford, Seaford, that I was talking about earlier. And this was a pretty surprising win for St. George's. I thought Seaford would go ahead and win this game by like a close one or something, because Seaford has a really good offense, which they score a lot of points. But St. George's, man, now they're 2-1 on the year. Took down Hodson in a blowout, lost to Howard, and now they bounced back and beat Seaford. Joshua Rivera had another great game. 21 points, 11 rebounds. He had 4 steals in this game. It's crazy work. Absolutely carrying this St. George's team, though. Vincent Evans had 17 for Seaford. In you had Azon Matthews, who had 14 and 10, and you had Sam, who had 11 points in this game for Seaford. Seaford had 3 double-digit scores to St. George's 2, which the other double-digit score they had was Amir Rojas, who had 10 points, 6 boards, and 2 steals. Not a bad outing, but overall, St. George's got the dub, and on to the next for St. George's. They are 2-1, and I think we already talked about it. They play Newman. They play in the Governor's Challenge on Sunday. Then they play the Boys Latin School of Maryland. Actually, that is on this Sunday. That is at the Wacamo Civic Center. And yeah, I think we already talked about all that. But other than that, really good game for St. George's. And yeah, ain't much to say. Ain't much to say. And the next game we're going to be talking about here is Middletown High School versus Elkton. Middletown played their first home opener. And this is the last or second to last game before they play against Delaware schools. And they won this game 65-59, my bad. King Xavier had a pretty good game. It was a good offensive game for Middletown. They kept time running and they scored at will. And yeah, now Middletown's on a 2-game win streak as they beat Devon Prep last week in a 46-43 win in a close one, and then they lost their first 2 games to Newman Goretti and Friends Central. But other than that, though, Middletown looks really good. Another team that I think is top 10 in the state this season. They're going to be led by King Savior, Jalen Murphy, Shane Lopez, and they just have a pretty good team overall, honestly. I don't think this team is going to miss the playoffs at all. At the worst I can see them doing is like 14-6, maybe 13-7 at best. I mean, at worst. But the best I see them is 15-5 at most right now. So yeah, and that's really it. The next game that we're going to be talking about here is William Penn versus Chester High, another PA school. William Penn won this game 54-37. Birdie had 12 points in this game. Most of his points coming off free throws. Chase Simmons had 11, and Ivan had 10 points in this game with multiple rebounds. This was a game where William Penn kept a slow pace despite being a fast pace, real physical offense approach. They was more slow pace in this game, and the reason why they only scored 54 today. And then defensively, they was just physical, pressuring Chester High big time and held them to 37, which was really surprising. And now their next game is going to be against Louisiana in a couple days at the Wells Fargo Center. They do play Liberty High School in PA on Sunday. And then coming back in 2026, January 6th, they play Sanford School down at Sanford in Hocastin. This William Penn team is good. They play really good defense. They're now on a 2-game win streak, taking down St. E's and Chester High in 2 days, in a span of 2 days, after losing to teams like Cape Henlopen, Dover High School, and Newark Arts High School in New Jersey. This was definitely a bounce back or another great win, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see how the rest of this season goes for them. They do got a couple pretty tough games coming up, so we gotta see. That's all I'm saying. But I think that's really it for the Thursday slate. And at last but not least, we're going to be talking about Friday yesterday as the one game I wanted to really go to, but I couldn't, was Sally's versus LaSalle. Now, this was a game that was, I thought this was going to be a blowout, and I know Sally's is a really good team, but I thought this game was going to be a blowout loss because they play LaSalle, who's one of the better PA schools in Delaware, in PA. And all in all, they only lost this game by 3, losing 55-52. Not a bad game. Sally's outscored LaSalle in the last 2 quarters. Sally's outscoring them 17-11 in the third, and then fourth quarter outscoring them 12-15. And speaking of Sally's, today they actually played against Archbishop Wood earlier today and won 67-63, where Latrell Wright had 30. I don't know exactly much about that game, but I do know it was a really good game, and Latrell had 30 against a tough Penn charter school. That's another PA school down at Archbishop Wood today. Their next few games, they play William Penn High School at Wells Fargo. We already talked about that. That's on a Tuesday. Then they play on Saturday against Fieri Charter School at Widener University during the break. And then their last game, or their second to last game of the break, is they play against the Potomac School in Virginia, a school in Virginia, but it's at the Governor's Challenge. And then they play another school, the winner of Elizabeth High School in Verna, another VA school, on the 30th. Then they come back in January to play against Melbourne Prep, and that'll be their last, or the second to last PA school they play against before they play Caravel on a Friday, January 9th. But that's really it, though, for today. Thank you guys for enjoying this video. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow AT's Barstool on Instagram. Link will be in the bio. And with that being said, thank you guys for enjoying. I'm finally back. I'm going to be doing more videos and more interviews coming out soon. Just subscribe. All you gotta do is subscribe. Other than that, I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today I'm here with.
14, class of 26.
And Flori, how do you feel about today's win over AI?
I just kept working, I got pushed through everything, I just got to keep working, being a player.
And for your senior year, how do you think it went as overall?
It went okay. I expected it to be a little bit better, but, I just got more work to do.
And what do you want to say to the up and coming freshmen for next year that's going to come out and play football?
Just give it your all. You got to buy in, be a team, change the culture, and just ball out.
And that'll be it.
What is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today I'm here with.
I'm not Brittany Green. Mary Jones Branch. What's up, Mary Miller?
What's up, Mina? And how do y'all feel about running 41-34?
I mean, we already knew he was going to come out and do it. No surprise for real. It just feel good, though. Just knowing we had a little bit of competition to push us towards it. And it feel good.
All right.
Like he said, we really know that we was gonna come out here and do this, but we looking to go faster always. We thought we was gonna go faster today, but coming off of back-to-back events, we all tired. But just know we can definitely go faster. We came in and race knew we was capable of. Everybody expected us to go faster, but we was just coming to break the record, and that's what we did. I mean, we already knew we was coming in the race. We were supposed to do. We nursed a couple injuries. Two of our guys injured, including me. So we just had to do what we had to do to win and get the state record. That's all.
All right. And what was y'all mentality during the race, during y'all run?
Clean handoffs. Make sure all the small stuff good. So the racing, we have a good time and a good race.
Just clean handoffs throughout the whole relay. And our handoffs, some handoffs was a little shaky, but we came out here and got the state record. That's all that mattered. It's clean handoffs. We ain't had that much clean handoffs, but the whole point of it, all we had to do was get the baton around. I knew all my guys was going to make it happen, so all I was worried about was getting the baton around.
Just stood on business.
All right. And I appreciate y'all for doing this interview with me. I'll see y'all next time. Yo, what is going on, y'all? It's your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today I'm here with
Cassidy Oaks.
And Cassidy, how do you feel about today's game and today's win over Howard?
I feel really good. I feel really happy about it. It was really fun. We kind of went into the game knowing we were going to play good and going to play well. So I'm happy that we had fun. We tried out some new different things, and it was great. It was a fun game.
And how do you think today's individual performance was against Howard?
I think it was good. I think it was awesome. I think I kind of fell apart a little bit in the second set defensively, and then I really picked it back up offensively in the third set.
And what is your mindset going to next game?
Win and play good.
All right. All right, and that is it for today. Stay in the night at Walmart. No. See it in the street somehow. All right. Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today I'm here with
Dover High School. Xavier Yarborough. Elijah Tackett.
Spencer Rodriguez. Chris Greedy.
And how do y'all feel about running the 4x4 and knowing that y'all had to win at your own school today?
Man, it feels great, man. We're the first team to go under 320 with my coach, so it's just a blessing.
Yeah, I know I had to do my part. I was coming into the race nervous, but after I got on that turn, that's when I really turned up. So,
It feel great. You know, we practiced all year for this. Made a chance. I told the guys I got them, bro. So second leg I got out, and Jackie finished it.
I was just getting the time, man. And I knew the Smyrna Cuts can hang. They was talking all that stuff. So we gave them what we had. Props to them though. They gave us a good race.
All right. And what was your mentality during the 400, during the 4x4?
I had to get back on Smyrna. I ain't like conference. They beat us. I ain't like that feeling. So coming to the race, I was just thinking beat Smyrna.
yeah, coming to the race, the guy that was behind me, he beat me at conference. So I had to come back stronger, had to come back harder, and finish just way better.
Yeah, I'm a senior. This is my last race. So my mind was to get out, get a first place win, and be a champ. You know.
See, man, I'm still a junior, but I just wanted to bring the win back because we had our ups and downs. But as a team, we all came together for this.
All right. And last question. What do you have to say to upcoming track runners next season?
Man, Dover not something to play with. We coming. Man, watch out for my young boy Zay Tech, and man, they nice, bro. They nice.
I don't gotta say nothing.
All right. You got something to say? Yo, what's going on, y'all? And today, well, not today, but that is it for the 2024-2025 track season. And we'll see y'all in 2025 and 2026. Don't forget to follow AT's Barstool, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yo, what is going on, y'all? It's your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today I'm here with. Hey, how do you feel about the win today against Dickinson?
I feel pretty good. I'm very proud of our team. Everyone put in a lot of work, and we fought our hardest to win.
And just knocking them off this night, what was your mentality going through before this game?
That we really need to focus on not setting like a numbered goal, really working on stuff that we can do as a team.
And from now on, what is your mindset for the rest of the season going forward and going into playoffs?
We really need to focus on like coming together as a team and really making it easy for ourselves.
And that'll be it.
Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today I'm here with
Andre Hauser.
And Andre, how do you feel about last week's win over Newark?
I feel like it was a good win. We definitely needed it coming off our loss against Archmere. It's a great morality booster for the school and for the team, and we're going to try and carry that momentum over into the next game.
And what is your mentality for tomorrow's game against AI?
Get a win. You feel me? They're in our conference. They're not really rivals, but you feel me? Conference wins count a lot towards playoff points, so we take it one win at a time. You feel me?
And what is your mindset throughout the rest of the season?
Teamwork. For me, I mean, I'm personally new. These guys have been playing together for a little minute, so right now my mentality is trying to get to know them, get to know how they play, so that we can all work and move accordingly as one, so we can, feel me, make it to get that one championship. So.
And for your senior year, what do you want to say to other up and coming hoopers coming in 2027?
Take this seriously. Like, if you have an opportunity to go somewhere better, go somewhere better. Keep your grades right. Keep your grades right. That's gonna count a lot. If you're a 4.0 and you're a 5-star hooper, you can go so far than just being a 5-star hooper in it.
And that'll be it. Thank you, Andre. Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today I'm here with
Vinny Starr, Commerce School of Science.
And Vinny. How do you feel about today's win over DMA?
It was a good win, good team overall, overall team win. I think we came and executed everything we needed to.
And what is your mentality for the rest of the season?
take one game at a time, win one game at a time. We can't focus on the future. We just gotta do what's ahead of us.
And that'll be all. Thank you.